I sense from here a strong support for Ukraine, a call to response to President Zelensky's call, supporting them not only in the short term but in the long term. It is not, strange that there is debate in European democracies about this. I think this war has a terrible consequence for Ukraine first and foremost, but also for the rest of Europe. Mm-hmm. So we need to have moments like this where we can come together and discuss how can we support Ukraine, how can we contribute to making this war end, and how can we move forward on European security. Speaking for my country, we have made a 5-year pledge. So I have secured in Parliament a cross-border party agreement to support Ukraine in 5 years. So no matter who governs Norway after next election, there will be this support, so that Ukraine can be sure that we will be there to support them in their right to defend themselves, but also economic and humanitarian needs.
Yet we're seeing a couple of countries that are a little bit more skeptical about providing support to Ukraine. I'll start with Hungary. From the outside, when you look at this division within the EU, what do you make of it?
Well, Hungary has been hungry since the beginning here, so that is not new. And then we discussed Slovakia after the elections. Well, let's see what Slovakia will be when there comes a government. But again, I think what has been surprising since February 22 is the remarkable unity of Europe. A unified response to Russia's aggression, support to Ukraine. And then when this moves into second and third year, of course there will be discussions among countries with the US, but that is democratic. So I think we just have to enter those discussions very actively and be focused and support Ukraine while we keep an intense focus on how can this war end. Because when it goes on, it's a disaster for Ukraine, and it's also, great ramifications, very negative ramifications for the rest of Europe.
Do you think that the uncertainty we're seeing now in the United States could complicate putting an end to this war?
Yeah, I just prefer not to speculate too much about what that uncertainty really will mean. I mean, I would think that for key US interests, it's really about preserving democracy and stability in Europe. And turning its back on that, I think, would be, a very big blow to US interests. And that's why I think, although we are approaching elections in the US and you are in a kind of an electoral cyclus, we have to keep working on explaining why standing unified on these principles is important, and how we can again support the peace process plan by President Zelensky to bring this to an end.